Welcome back to another mind-blowing episode of the Av Files. I'm your host, Av, and as always, I'm joined by the one and only Daniel.
I do not like dairy, but I'm glad to be here. I am almost intolerant of that. I am almost intolerant of dairy. But thank you for having me on. I believe we've been on this before. Stuck the landing. I'm here with dairy. Hello. Oh, hello.
No, I almost remember earlier
Yeah.
I said Darius.
You just compiled it all into one. Darius Nation.
Oh shit.
It's
Well,
great to be here. Great to be here.
thank you.
Yeah.
Daniel of Arius and the
What?
Nation. On today's episode, we will be going down a deep rabbit hole with many stops along the way. On our journey, please keep an open mind and keep asking questions because no doubt we will have plenty of our own.
Always. Always. We thrive in questions. We live in questions. We are questions.
And yes, we do. And the foil hat, by the way, you might be wondering what is up with that.
What is up with that?
Glad you asked, because this has to do with conspiracy theories.
Whoa! So they can't read your mind. I've yet to purchase my tinfoil hat from you. As you clearly see in his title, everyone, he is the maker of tinfoil
I
hats.
am the foil hat maker.
What?
Coming to a store near you.
What? Yes. Well, guys, I can't wait for this. I'm super excited for this. This is the kind of stuff, this is the kind of stuff that people get lost in late at night when they have nothing else to do.
This is why we're covering it right now.
We thrive in the nether regions of their brains.
Right. So, a quick rundown of where we will be going on this episode. We will be talking about conspiracy theories. And I'm sure some of you have heard of some of these, and maybe some of you haven't. But we'll just be touching on some of the topics. So, if there's one that interests you or we didn't mention it, just leave a comment and let us know, and we'll get to it.
So, this is more of a glancing over of a couple.
This is just a couple conspiracy theories that we kind of handpicked. Like I said, some people have heard of them, some people haven't. I mean, there's so many to go.
Hopefully, by the end of this, they'll be wiser and question everything they know.
That is the goal. Have more questions. Yes, I hope they have more questions.
I really hope we disturb most of our listeners with the stuff that we release. But if they're already thinking about this, hey guys, chime in. He reads the comments, and I like the comments.
That's part of his job.
That is part of my co-hosting. Is I will like the comment. He reads the comments, gives meaningful responses.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I will give meaningful responses.
Yes. Interesting. All right.
Coincidence. All right. So our first conspiracy theory will take us back to the RMS Titanic. And why do you ask? Well, let's go back to the beginning. The Titanic is one of the most infamous maritime disasters in all of history, and after 100 years, it still has many unanswered questions and probably just as many theories that suggest alternative explanations for the tragedy. These theories question the official narrative surrounding the Titanic sinking and proposes hidden agendas, cover-ups, and deliberate actions by various parties.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Because everyone knows that love sank the Titanic.
Yes. All right. It was true love.
It was funny because my English teacher, when I went to that one semester of college, said that love sank the Titanic. I was like, what? No. The idiot in the crow's nest, or I don't know, it was a lookout. I don't think they call it a crow's nest. I think pirates
didn't they call it a crow's nest?
Did they? I have no idea. But he didn't have his binoculars, and he was too busy eyeing up Jack and Rose,
kicking the ice around.
Yeah, and their love ended up confusing him or diverting his eyes. So essentially, love sank the Titanic.
That makes
Yes.
a lot of sense.
Nothing else does. Nothing else does. So, what?
So, one of the more well-known theories about the Titanic is the J.P. Morgan theory. Some theorists believe that the sinking of the Titanic was orchestrated by the powerful financier J.P. Morgan, who had a significant stake in the ship's construction. Allegedly, Morgan wanted to eliminate his competitors who opposed creation of the Federal Reserve, a central banking system that he strongly supported. The theory suggests that some of these opponents, such as Benjamin Guggenheim, John Jacob Astor, and Isidor Straus, all of whom were wealthy businessmen and critics of the Federal Reserve proposal, were on board and were initially left to perish in the disaster. The sinking was a deliberate act to eliminate opponents of the Federal Reserve who had just happened to be on board the ship. And just happened is in air quotes.
Yeah.
And after the
For those of you
right,
listening, air quotes.
yeah, you can hear the big. And after the ship had gone down, it was also said that there was a deliberate, slow response to rescue efforts for any survivors. The theory says that the powerful figures at the time, with vested interest in the reserve, wanted to ensure that certain individuals opposed to the system did not survive the disaster.
Interesting.
Right. Yes, it is. I mean, it's very interesting.
What
Again,
I
this is just one theory of why or how the Titanic sunk.
well, it offers up a list of coincidences, which I know there are probably a lot surrounding this one sinking of, because the its twin ship. What was it called?
The was it the Olympian or something
Yeah,
like that?
it was something like that. Didn't J.P. Morgan also have an invested interest in that as well?
Yeah, I think so. But there
And
was one
so,
where the Titanic that sank. The Titanic. There was one theory that said that the Titanic actually didn't sink. It was one of the sister ships that sank. They took the name off the Titanic. They switched the names
got it.
and they sunk it.
So
It was like insurance fraud, basically.
got it. Which would make sense. I mean, look, let's say you're J.P. Morgan. Your job is to make money. That is your job. Not in any honest way, just to make money. So
Yeah.
you find loopholes, you thrive in them. And during that time, there was no CSI Orlando. There was no like,
Right.
it's at the bottom of the goddamn ocean. The only people that are going to tell anything are the survivors. So, I mean, it's unfortunate, but it makes a lot of sense. I wouldn't put it past anyone to be that devious.
No, well, I
Um,
mean, when you're that wealthy, they always say, what is the root of all evil? It's money. It makes you. It's just evil.
well, I mean, if he opposed the Federal Reserve, interesting.
Well,
I feel like there's so many things that have to line up in order for that to be valid. But then again, I wouldn't know. Like I just could he definitely had the ear of many a mighty person with
well,
the amount of money he had.
right. I mean, I guess he's one of the more wealthiest people at the time. People at the time. So that old saying, money talks. You got the money, man. You can do just about anything. You can get away with anything. I mean, look at a lot of these celebrities and all the stuff that they get away with for years,
Yeah.
and pretty much in plain sight.
Yeah, just because they have the money. Just they just have the money, they're almost untouchable. And it takes an act of God to get them either brought to court or convicted or even known about.
Just yeah, even just a mention,
Yep.
because
Yep.
there's a lot of celebrities, politicians, and I mean it goes from like lower tier to like the
top
high,
top tier.
yes.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure J.P. Morgan had that disappear you money. Like
Oh yeah, he definitely had that. Yeah, fuck you
it
money.
was like J.P. Morgan, Carnegie, um,
Rockefeller.
Rockefeller. I think it was like those three, and plus I think maybe
I was,
two or
I was
three more guys
yeah.
bailed the nation out of debt. Just them. So right off the bat, they're untouchable. If you bailed the country out of debt during, I think it was like around the Great Depression, right
During
after it or during, like, yeah, they're untouchable.
mm-hmm.
The nation is indebted to a couple families of money.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. Then you kind of get to do stuff.
And you wonder if they weren't able to do that or they didn't do that, where would we be now? Would we be considered a third world country?
Probably,
Second
probably,
world country, you know?
probably, probably. I'm not saying good doesn't come out of uh that was about to be bad. What I was gonna say is like there's always like silver linings if you look hard enough, you know. But because of their input influx of cash, we were able to get to where we were as a nation, right? So it's not all terrible, but yeah, this is all blood money. It's like they got those like couple families got to do whatever they effing wanted to. They're
Mm-hmm.
untouchable. They got the nation out of debt. What bigger of a jail get out of jail free card do you need? Like pretty much,
Could you
pretty much.
imagine getting pulled over by the cops and being like, I basically saved your life?
Yeah, I own you and the other 50.
That's when you really can say, do you know who I am?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And then what is it? They get to the police station and someone's there just getting them out. You
They
know?
walk in. Well, they walk in and like the sheriff is like,
Yeah.
Joe
We're
Bob, what are you doing?
Yeah, we're releasing him. What? How could you? The law. It's like, oh, he just bought the police station. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he basically bought the country. So
yeah. So anyway, no, I think it's feasible. I think it's feasible. Anyone with I don't ever question the evil that people can do. Does that make sense? Like
yeah, yeah.
I feel like that
Well,
is the most realistic thing.
man is can be such an evil person. You know,
Yeah,
the human race is they can be very evil and greedy. Greedy, I
yeah,
think, is what it
yeah,
really is too. You know, they
yeah.
when it comes to money, man, people will do just about anything for money, man. Just about anything for money.
But I do feel like that is very, very feasible. Out of all the like conspiracy theorists out there, conspiracy theories, not their risks, um, theories, it's just believable. There would have to be a lot of stuff that happens, um, in J.P. Morgan's favor to make this viable, and a lot has happened in his favor
Hmm.
throughout this time.
Hmm.
So I would really have you'd have to like sit down and put like what was happening in the country with his was he a railroad tycoon as well, Morgan?
Is that where the monopoly guy comes from?
I think it's one
I,
of
I'm
them.
I think that's isn't it based off of them more or less?
Yeah, I think it was Morgan and Carnegie.
Let us know in the comments because I'm gonna have to look into that too. 'Cause I
It
think
was
that's
like either Morgan or Carnegie were like the railroad tycoons,
Mhm.
right? And and if you took a look at what they were doing and what hardships that were happening for them personally during this time, then I would say yes, 100%. Because if they were experiencing an L, or if there was a strike or hardship or whatever during this time, then yes, I believe it.
I
Just to
mean,
keep their books in the black. Yeah,
well, I mean, it was more for them to do this. With basically what it is they were getting rid of
the competition.
competition.
Yep.
They didn't want to go along with what he was saying with the bank, with the Federal Reserve Bank, the banking system. So he was like, well, if you're not with me, you're against me. And I can't have any loose ends.
Nope. Nope. Yep.
No, I'm
And
not reading that. That's not like a quote,
yeah. Hey.
you know. But
Yes.
I'm sure that more or less it's probably something along those
It
lines.
was definitely unspoken. It was definitely unspoken. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
get on that ship. I'll give you a ticket.
Somehow he got him on there, and I I think he was actually supposed to be on the
Yeah.
ship,
Yeah.
and then like at the last minute he bailed.
Yeah.
You know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, I mean, it's very feasible. I don't put it past. I don't put it past that. I don't put it past them at all whatsoever. I think that's very feasible. I feel like you could definitely back that up. But I mean, then again, you would have to have a lot of things that added up, to
Mhm.
make that kind of sort of like. Could he do that? Yes, he could. But then, how did it? Did he place the iceberg in the water? How did it happen? Like how he knew he told the captain who went down with the ship, by the way, to aim for the iceberg and send it home. Like
He paid him off. He's like, make sure you hit. There's going to be an iceberg out there. It's going to be, he gave him coordinates to it, and he said, run into it.
which is interesting because the Titanic was way off course.
Mm.
Was way off course. It sunk way off course from where it was supposed to be. Like something to the effect of almost 200 miles. Please don't quote me on this. I am shooting from the hip on this, but I remember hearing that, and it's just interesting. And then all of a sudden, hit an iceberg. Not even an iceberg, ice mountain that was
Mm-hmm.
big enough to sink a air quotes again for those listeners, to sink a ship. It's just like get back to work, Jose. Like,
yeah,
like
yeah.
where's my hammer?
If there's any like Spanish guys listening to this, you're like, oh, I got to go back to work.
Like what? Kill him? Like no. The other whistle, air quotes. No. But no, it's just there's a lot of things that needed to happen. Like I mean, then how do you convince a captain to go down with the ship unless it wasn't a real captain? You're just like winging it.
Whoa, wait, whoa, hold on. The captain I'm pretty sure at that time, if the ship's going down, they're going down with it, no matter what.
Yeah, but then how did Morgan like get the captain to commit suicide? Basically, wealth for his family, had dirt on his family.
Well, he probably didn't tell the captain what he was doing.
Well, he's controlling the ship. He's controlling the ship. He's like, oh, there's a fucking iceberg.
Yeah, I'm not
Well, I mean, if you're gonna say that, okay, so if if the story of Titanic, more or less true, what happened, and they were off course at that time, the captain's he's not maneuvering the ship. The captain's not up there 24/7.
True.
And I forget what time it was. I know it was late at night. So the captain's in his quarters. So whoever is behind the wheel is maneuvering the ship to where it's supposed to be. So blame that person.
So the guy maneuvering the ship is an agent for J.P. Morgan.
Yeah. And he probably told, look, again, people, if you put money out there, people will do just about anything.
Pretty much.
And at that time, if I'm, if you had $5 in your pocket, like now $5 is nothing. You had $5 back then. They're like, holy shit, that's a lot of money.
Well, can I tell you something that I just found out today? I did some research. 1937, right? When Indiana Jones offered that lady $5,000 in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Okay, $5,000 in 1937. You know how much buying power $5,000 had in 1937? It was the equivalent. Now, hear me out. $5,000 was the equivalent of $106,000.
See, that's what I'm saying. You get some guy at that time, on a boat, and you sit there and tell him, "I'm going to give you." I mean, just any kind of number,
like 20,000. Oh my god!
Holy shit, they're set for life.
What? Yeah. What does it have to break into two pieces? Why not four? Like,
How many pieces would you like, sir?
yeah, pretty much. Just find the ice cube, hit it. You know,
Just go out there as far as you can, and as soon as you see ice, just
yep,
run right into it, will you?
yeah, because you know there's ice up there. There's
Yeah,
ice up there somewhere.
yeah. Oh,
Anyway, it'd be interesting
definitely.
to see where Morgan was or where his agents were months before the Titanic left port. Were they up in the Arctic blowing chunks off of fucking glaciers with dynamite?
He'll be heading this way.
Like,
Let's make
what
sure.
are we doing out here, Jebediah? It's for the long haul, the long con. Let's blow
Yeah.
these pieces of chunks up off
This
the
right here
iceberg.
will ensure our law, our what is it? Our lineage.
Our lineage, yep. Oh my god. Jesus. But I mean, like I said, or like you said, actually, any amount of money can corrupt. Like that's pretty much it. But
And I mean, you a guy that's so wealthy. Um, I mean, they just it's never enough.
yeah, I
You
just
know.
I feel like yes, there's a lot of there's in order for I feel like a conspiracy theory to kind of sort of lean on the side of like interesting and plausible. There's a
Mhm.
lot of coincidences that need to line up. And in the case of the Titanic, there are multiple coincidences that line up that match a couple different theories, you know? And that's the part that people should look into is like, how many coincidences is enough for, it to be shady?
Right.
Like one is enough for me.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, if you haven't noticed that I do like conspiracy theories, and the reason is because it makes it interesting. It asks you ask a lot of questions. It's not just like, oh, this happened and that's it. Well, why did it happen?
Yep.
Who did benefit from it?
Yep. Yep.
You
Well, I
know.
mean, we clearly know the beneficiary of that whole thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, that right there is like, and that's just one theory. Again, that's like I said. There was one other theory where they switched the names. The Titanic didn't actually sink. It was the other ship that did. Um, Jesus Christ, what was the other one?
Rogue woolly mammoth that pirated an iceberg ship. But that was either Ice Age 3, I think.
It was the orcas that came up and knocked it over.
Yep. Yep. With lasers, laggers.
With laggers.
What is that? It's an old timey pirate laser. Oh my god.
Yeah, there was quite a bit of them. This one I just picked out. I was like, you know what, this sounds a little interesting.
I
This
mean, it's
sounds
kind of
interesting.
relevant. I mean, there was another conspiracy theory out there of the mini Titan, Titanic.
Yeah,
There's that
yeah.
too.
There's
But
that one.
well, stay tuned for that one. Stay tuned for that one.
Yeah, see what's going on with that guy.
Yeah. So
So,
what else? What else? I mean, like I said, pretty interesting. What else we got? You said a couple conspiracy theories. What
couple.
we got next?
Right. So we're halfway there. On our next conspiracy theory is definitely one I know a lot of people have looked up online, or at least heard of, the Illuminati. The Illuminati conspiracy theory is rooted in the belief that a secret shadow organization known as the Illuminati controls world events from behind the scenes. According to this theory, the Illuminati consists of powerful elites, politicians, celebrities, and business leaders who manipulate global affairs to serve their own interests to create a new world order. And I think that's in air quotes as well.
Yes.
somebody just put up a wall.
Oh my god.
So
Oh man.
yeah, every time we do that, a wall's made.
Yes. Not an angel gets its wing. No. 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 Love that. Oh my god.
uh, Proponents claim that the Illuminati members covertly control governments, economies, oh my goodness, economies, and media organizations worldwide, allowing them to manipulate public opinion and influence major decisions. The theory often cites various symbols and imagery, such as the all seeing eye and the pyramid, like on the back of the $1 bill,
Mhm.
and the number of the beast 666 as evidence of the Illuminati's influence, particularly in the entertainment industry. Some of the celebrities supposedly part of the Illuminati are Jay-Z, his wife Beyonce, Trump, and LeBron James, just to name a few. That's just uh,
But
going through some research. These are some of the names came up. I just picked these four randomly.
could you see them
So
all at a table? What the fuck?
that's one. That's actually one weird table.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be like I'd see that and I'd walk right out. I'm like, nah,
You're like, you look
I'm
over,
not
you
ready
see
for
Jay
this.
Z and his wife. Then you see Trump, and you're like, and
LeBron
then look,
James,
LeBron James. You're like,
the fuck?
fuck, you're like fuck
Like,
this. I'm out of
what
here.
in the world? It's like some weird. Anyway,
You know what? You can have my soul. I'm
yeah,
out of
like
here.
no, no, this is too weird. You're fired. You're fired. Like no, and I just
LeBron James is there, and he just flops out of the chair.
yeah, yeah, he flops and then but there's like powder everywhere. It's like stop doing that. Stop doing that. Stop doing that.
Yeah, fucking idiot.
Oh god.
So some believe that the Illuminati engages in occult rituals and worship dark forces to gain power and maintain control. The theory also suggests that the Illuminati stages false flag events, such as terrorist attacks, to justify military interventions to advance their agenda. That's,
I just
I've heard that too, the false
yeah.
flag thing. And some people have said false flag events. That doesn't end well for them.
I just feel like yeah, we're already putting a target on our backs talking about the things that should not be named. But
Yeah, we tread
I
lightly.
yeah, so I just feel like the occult engages in occult rituals. I just feel like that's just money. They're disguising that evil just as money. They all have money. They're the 1% of the 1%ers.
Right.
These
Hmm.
guys are controlling global commerce, trade. They can topple organizations, countries on a whim based on the greater good. Have you ever seen Hot Fuzz?
Yeah. Hmm.
All right, good. So it's like that,
Yeah.
like the greater good, like this.
I'm not Spencer.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shout out to Spencer, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, man. Awesome, awesome dude, man. Um, but I just feel like it's just money. It's just money. It's like certain people that have money, inherited vast sums of money,
Hmm.
came into vast sums of money, enough so to affect global commerce or to influence people that will affect the global market are taken under the wings of someone that is on the elite level. And I mean, as a strategy, it makes sense. Let's say you're the head of this organization,
Hmm.
right? And let's say you could have the power. Who would you want at your circle? Well, the people that affect global finance. These are the people that are influential at making things bow to your whim. Or
Hmm.
the if you wanted things to happen, you control the money. How do you control the money? By controlling different giants in different industries. So it's a strategical it's not a weak argument because that makes sense. It makes
Hmm.
sense to do that, and half the time you put on the the news, they're all saying the exact same thing different ways.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Have you seen those
Ex-
videos where the guy they get 100 different news
and they're
anchors?
saying the same
They're
fucking
saying the
thing,
same exact thing, and it's
dude.
like, why would like
Yep, yep. They're
it's
like,
it's like they
it's
have a they
real.
have
A script.
a script. Yes, a script.
Yep,
Exactly. They have a script and they hand it out to all the news, all of them,
yep.
all of them, not just the big ones, like even like some of the local ones, and they're all reading and saying the same exact thing. And
It's
it's like one or two doing it in the same area, like okay, whatever. But if you have one in like Maine, one in California, one in like Florida, and I mean, and it's all in, it's like that's
yeah.
way more than
They're
a
like,
coincidence. That's bullshit.
it's kind of like you're showing your hand, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I just feel like it's kind of like people at that level. are so unplugged from the human condition because they don't
Hmm.
see us as human. They see us as like cows. I would say if this exists and you're at that level, you
Hmm.
have to be looking at humanity as not indisposable. What is it called?
Well, they are like replaceable. We
No,
are
that
replaceable. We are disposable,
expendable.
expendable. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
like we aren't humans. We are just pawns. And if this organization exists, which a lot of evidence points that something like this does, it may not be called this, but if this does exist, then they are so detached from the human condition where they're so focused on bettering something where it means the loss of life for a lot of people
Hmm.
because maybe they feel like it, maybe they think they know what's best. So I, I'm more on board with this. How do I say? I'm more on board with this thing happening. This group of Illuminati happening than I was on board with the Titanic one. Just because it
Hmm.
just makes sense. You have these elites that meet up, and I think they all meet up anyway in
Well,
California somewhere.
they do that Bohemian Grove.
Yep, that one,
Hmm.
that one, that one.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just like it makes sense. It makes sense. It's just one of those things. It just if you told me that all the rich people hang out, yeah, I know that. But now then you tell me that all the rich people hang out, yeah, I get that too.
Well, you get like the politician, like the big politicians, and you get the big movie people,
Yep.
and you get all these, and they're all coming, and they're all hanging out, and they're doing rituals, and it's like,
Yeah.
what are you guys like? What are you guys doing?
Well, you gotta have the puppet masters meet with the puppets to get
Hmm.
on the same level, to get on the same script. That's basically what it is. That's it's those meetings are basically script readings
Hmm.
for the puppets, and then they
Right.
go out and do what the puppet masters say. Now, if that were the case, then I would say yes, that's exactly how I would do it. Right?
Hmm.
If you were the head of one of these freaking things, then yeah, that's a strategical. It just makes sense to me. Yeah, surround yourself with the people that can move things, make things happen very quickly, and you supersede all the pitfalls of a democratic vote or anything like that. You're like, we can make this happen. This is the way it should happen. Forget giving power or real power to presidents or whatever, whoever thinks is best for their place. No, we're skipping that and we're just going right to the source. We're making changes now
Hmm.
without anyone knowing. So I just and I feel like you see these things in like glances, like the glitches in the matrix that we see, right? You'll see
Right.
like something like what you said, those hundreds of videos with everyone saying the same thing. You're like, that's a glitch. That wasn't supposed to be seen by everyone like that.
Yeah. I mean, and somebody catches it. I mean, there's so many conspiracy theories, especially with like the Illuminati one. That's like a big one,
Yeah.
because they talk about it. I mean, the false flag things that they say, a
Yep.
way for the media to control us. I feel like that has something to do with like us fighting each other.
Now the Illuminati came out of the Templar people, right? Not necessarily the Freemasons, or did the Freemasons
The
come out of
Knight
the
Templar, I believe.
Templar?
Hmm.
Which one came out of what? Because is
I think the Illuminati came out of the Templar and the Masons.
came out of the Templars too,
Right.
I think,
I think
because
that
they share similar um, signage,
Hmm.
similar. Like again, I have no idea. So, since I am not part of the one percenters, I don't know. I don't know. Don't ask me. You know, but
We'll have
it's
to check
interesting.
that out. Maybe that's something we'll have to check out too.
Cautiously, or else they will disappear us.
Yeah, because this could be a short short
It was a
channel.
great run. This was a great
Yeah.
run. Great run. I just tell my family I love them. and that I did not commit suicide.
I was gonna say, in case anybody's wondering, I don't want to die.
Yeah, yes, let it be known.
Let
But
me know. I don't want to die.
this is interesting, man, because it plays on people's imaginations, and not only that, it's very feasible, and if not, it's very true. I know where I stand on a couple of these things. I know that if it makes sense, and if it's something that a sane person, a diabolical person, could conceive of, then it's probably true.
Yeah.
You
A lot
know,
of times that's what it seems like. If seems like it could be true, it probably is.
yeah.
Well,
How would It's like you flip the question. How would you do it if you were to create such an organization? How would you do it?
oh my
And
gosh.
is it like they're doing it?
Right, yeah.
Yes.
I
Then
mean,
it's probably been done or happening.
they've been working on it for years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, just look. I mean, again, if you have the money, man, you can do just about anything. I mean,
It's
not.
terrifying.
It's one thing when you have millions of dollars. It's another thing when you are kind of obscure. Nobody knows exactly who you are, but you're making a shit ton of money,
Well,
and you just
the
have like money that's not,
I, man.
that you just can do whatever you want with.
Well, I feel like if you reach that level, you're beyond money. You're not about money. Money is for what you would consider the poor. You're about
No, now it's
like
power.
yeah, it's about changes. Like how many countries do you own? Like shit like that. Like money is like a stepping stone to get to that level.
Well, you see, like the kings or not king. What are they called? The I guess are they called kings? And over there in like Dubai, all those guys, the rich oil
Oh, like
guys,
the princes or
the
the
princes. Yeah, I mean they
Johns
make,
or whatever they
yeah,
are.
they make, dude, they're making stupid amounts of money every day.
Yep.
Like I don't think anybody over here is making that much money.
Mm-mm.
But the guys over here do make a lot of money, but they're not making money like stupid money like that. I mean, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, those guys, they're like, I want to buy, 10 Lamborghinis.
Their country built a fucking island. Who does that? Who builds an island? That's crazy, man. Like on Earth, like another island. Yeah, they just built it.
Like, I was gonna build another one. Why?
That
Because
thing that
I got
God.
enough money to
You
do
know,
it.
oh, God forgot this piece. Let's just add it.
Could you? I mean, but could you imagine to have that much money, where you're like, I just want to do this, or I just want to build a house over here, and well, why do you want to do it? That's because I don't have anything else to do. I want to.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. No, I mean it's different, man. That's a different level. You know, and I wish that kind of success on all of our listeners.
All right, but I
You
mean,
know,
still, it's not even about. It is about greed. It's about power.
it's about
Those
power.
people want power. How can I? I want people. I'm going to control people. I'm going to tell
Yep.
what these motherfuckers what to do.
Yep. It's the same old game. It's just the game has changed a little bit, but it's the same fucking game since the beginning of time.
Right.
You know, it's just the look of it has changed, the appeal has changed, um, but the evil has remained the same. You know,
Yeah.
the intent has remained the same in the
Mm-hmm.
hearts of men. So I believe it. I believe it. I feel like this is more fact than anything, but like again, I want to make it till tomorrow. So
I don't believe it at all. I
not
think
at
it's
all.
all bullshit.
Can't hear you over your hat, bro. Oh man. Oh my god. But
But
no, man,
yeah,
this is interesting to say the least.
yeah. So thanks for joining us on today's episode of these conspiracy theories. Please remember to keep an open mind and ask questions. If there's any other theories out there that you want us to cover, just let us know in the comments. Big shout out to my co-host Daniel of Arius and the Nation for joining us
Well,
today.
hey man, it's fun, man. Thank you so much for having me back on. I love this. I love this stuff. It's like I this is what I listen to fall asleep. So I love this. So I really appreciate your channel. I appreciate your listeners. I appreciate everything. I really
And
do.
we
Yes.
appreciate you for
I
stopping by and joining us
thank
and
you.
going down this rabbit hole with us,
Hey man.
because there's more rabbit
Yeah.
holes to go down.
We're not done. We're not done. I can list
Just
off like
we're just
20.
getting started.
I can list off like 20. Oh man. Anyway,
Please, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share with everyone. It helps our channel to grow.
yes,
Please, please. So, thanks again, Daniel. Big shout out to
of
Spencer
course, man.
Joyce. I know he's out there somewhere listening.
Yep, it's in the ether. Yep, always
Yeah.
listening.
Big another shout out goes to Chris from
Yeah,
the garage.
keeping that garage empty, man. Shout out to you, man.
Yeah. Making trips at Costco.
Yep, wheeling it up. Oh yeah. All right.
All right. Until the next episode, my friend. Peace.